Folks, welcome into Trainwreck today. It is Victory Monday on all fronts. Big Bills win over the Chiefs. We had a Sabres win at home against the Capitals. UB back to their winning ways. We've got Chris Trapasso and Gatesy in studio. The crew is ready. Let's rock and roll. Let's go.
We all need a place where we can be ourselves. Somewhere you can leave all your worries on the shelf. And whether you win or lose, you can count on me, and I can count on you. You know this train never stops. This train never stops. You know this train never stops. This train never stops. You know this train never stops. This train never stops. You know this train never stops. You know this train never stops.
Folks, welcome on in. It is Trainwreck today, episode 25, and you know it. You don't need to check your calendar. It is a Victory Monday on all fronts. We got a UB Bulls win on Saturday afternoon. We got a Sabres win at home on Saturday night. But everyone this morning and everyone into this afternoon talking about the Bills win over Kansas City. So let's get into it here on Trainwreck today. We got Slick L, we got Dreamboat Don, but very fortunate to be joined by our guest, Chris Trapasso. Knower of all things is what I would say. And folks, don't forget to check the wife's TikTok, okay? She's dominating on there as well. Chris, welcome in. Bills fans, it's hard not to be excited today on this Monday.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. I feel honored to be part of this awesome studio and this Pat McAfee show of Buffalo here. Thanks for having me on, Zach. And yeah, it was an electric atmosphere yesterday in the stadium. The weather was like perfect. It was
I have to give credit.
55
Listen,
and sunny.
I'm the biggest hater. Yeah. I try to put a spin on it. Optimistic hater. The weather delivered yesterday. It was a little gray in the beginning. It was a little gray and sketchy early, but then the sun came out, the temperature held, and then it was a beautiful fall night. The Goodyear blimp was looking like a stealth bomber up there when it came out. It was crazy atmosphere, but the Goodyear blimp bore witness to a pretty dominant 7-point win by the Buffalo Bills.
My first takeaway from the game, and I'm sure a lot of other people think this way, it was the best Bills performance against the Chiefs in the Allen and Mahomes era. There was the 2021 game, 38-20, I think the Bills won in Arrowhead. There was some fluky turnovers in that game. This was just from the opening drive touchdown, really until the end, outside of 4th and 17, dominant performance on both sides of the ball for the Bills. They looked like the team that had it, that was easier to move the football, to get stops. The Chiefs were really the team chasing the Bills really throughout this game, and it's kind of been the opposite in this Allen-Mahomes rivalry up until this point.
It was a great effort overall. You know, you made an interesting point there, like the ease of the victory, right? That 38-20 win was kind of like when you birdie a golf hole, but you hit it off the cart path and then you got
exactly.
a lucky bounce.
100%.
You didn't really earn it so much, whereas yesterday was a whole 100% grain-fed like victory. You played better on offense, you played better on defense, and even with the doink to end the game, you might have played better on special teams. Slick, it made for a very memorable Sunday in Orchard Park.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Game day tailgate, probably the busiest I have seen this year.
Unbelievable. By the way, great spacing though. They had the most people they've ever had, but tons of room and tons of ways to enjoy the game.
Unreal spacing, game day expanding their lot. It feels like every week at this point. Special guest, the Allen family in the house. We were joined by the Bandits as well.
Did you get a little nervous? You didn't know that you were going to be interviewing Joel Allen. You were running around the lot on our live stream, fan cams. 7 minutes in, all of a sudden, Joel's in your lap. I saw a little beat of sweat going.
It had been a while since I'd seen my boy. Obviously, we met in LA last year at the game day tailgate. No chance he remembers me, but yeah, I was a little starstruck seeing my good old dad, as I called him. Hi, Dad. But yeah, crazy tailgate. The 2-hour early admissions for the first time ever. I think those only come around come playoff time. So if you were there yesterday for that, really good experience. Chiefs fan or Bills fan, I think everyone enjoyed themselves at game day tailgate.
I'm glad. Well, first off, we have Dreamboat, who's a pretty good gauge on this. But I want to ask Chris. The Bills Mafia of it all last week, how would you describe the vibe going into that Kansas City game? Like if you were elevator pitching it to somebody.
You mean before the game or just
like
the experience?
Fans and the mindset of the fan base going into that Kansas City matchup.
I think coming off the bye week and then winning 40-9 and getting right on defense helped a lot, obviously. Yeah. And not only just playing a really good game to win 40-9 the week before against the Panthers, but to get Maxwell Hairston on the field, and he looked good against the Panthers. Michael Hoyt, who we'll talk about later, obviously gets injured in this game, but he made a big difference in those first three quarters.
He was a big playmaker.
Larry Ogunjobi. So I think coming off the bye that you go into it with such a sour note, the 40-9 victory, it was not really that hard, even at my tailgate, for fans to be pretty pumped up for this 10th iteration of Allen Mahomes.
And a man who's no stranger to getting a ensemble on the same page, Dreamboat Don. What we've seen out of the defense the last 2 weeks, it looks like McDermott, whether it's McDermott calling the plays or Babbage, I don't care. The operation just looks a lot smoother from what we're getting out of that unit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I famously at the Atlanta game said McDermott needs to lose these glasses. I don't know what he's doing with this look, but he's seeing things
Fans
clearly.
are saying the opposite about yours right now.
He's
on live stream.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we should get a pair of those.
Different glasses today. I don't know how I like them. I got to bring back my normal ones. But he's seeing things clearly. I like what I saw. I mean, what is not to like? That I thought, like you said, it's the best the defense has ever looked against a Kansas City team, and it was just like a well-rounded win. Like last week, he had James Cook go off for 200 yards, but it was, and obviously Kincaid, huge in this game, but it was just like everyone did their part. That's what you want, like especially playing a good team, and later on in the playoffs, you're not always going to have a dominant performance by one guy, but you wanted passing. Josh Allen says he was 270. So
you want passing? You got it.
It was a little bit of everything. And Chris, that's why I kind of want to dissect this a little bit. It was 10-7. First off, 7-0. The Bills are going up the field again. 4th down, they don't convert. That was an opportunity that you could have punched them right in the face. Like they didn't get the full punch right there. But then it gets to 10-7 Chiefs, and you have a juncture of this game where it becomes 28-13 Bills. So that's a 21-3 run for the Bills in the middle of this game. Have you seen anything? I know you've had limited time to look at the tape and kind of digest it all. How did McDermott and the co make that happen?
Well, I'm going to talk about this later in the show, but the ability to play man coverage. And I actually rewatched the game early this morning to hear what Romo was saying during the game. The Bills, and maybe this felt like too cliche and kind of cheesy, but the Bills, especially this offseason with the 6 of 8 draft picks on defense, Joey Bosa coming in, Ogunjobi Hoyt in free agency, they are built to beat Kansas City. And the specific point that I'll mention later more in depth, the ability to play man coverage. Cole Bishop had the one pass breakup. They stopped a 4th down. That was not just the Bills sitting back in zone where Mahomes can find his open receiver and fire it in there. Maxwell Hairston runs with Xavier Worthy down the field.
He had receivers blanketed.
Yes, like they have not had that ability in this Allen Mahomes era. Getting the younger players, some of the athletes, there were some times where they could mix up, whether it was Bobby Babbage or Sean McDermott. Being able to play man coverage was huge, was a big difference in this game.
A huge shout out to our studio security, making sure we're safe here on Trainwreck today. Make sure you're following on Herd of Buffalo Network, Trainwreck Sports. Maxwell Hairston on defense against the Kansas City Chiefs. The only way I can describe it as a Marvel fan was like when Hela stopped Mjolnir, when Thor threw the hammer at her and she just stopped it. I have not seen the Bills defense in 4 to 5 years really stay up with this Kansas City offensive scheme. And seeing Hairston run stride for stride, what were you more impressed by? The pick or the previous play where he ran stride for stride all the way, turned to block out, incomplete? I thought that was equally as impressive.
That was it for me.
Yeah, I think that play was actually more impressive, especially
crazy
when you watch it.
Yes.
He gave Xavier Worthy a free release.
Yes.
It wasn't like he beat him up at the line. So it was like, go ahead, Xavier Worthy, run that 4.21 40. I'm 4'2", but I can run with you. No pass interference in his second NFL game. A lot of times in that situation, it would be a defensive holding pass interference.
Was everyone bracing like?
Oh,
when
yeah,
that ball was
100%.
Everyone was just. I saw him there, and you have that cycle. You go, you're there. Just make the play like you're there. And all of a sudden he goes, bam! Like that's exactly. You're like, yes, that's exactly what it's supposed to be.
Yes.
In training camp, I said this is like so much. There's a broken record. Maxwell Harrison is the fastest player I've ever seen live in a Buffalo Bills uniform. I think lived up to the hype last night.
Yeah, 4.28 in the 40, and I think he has a lot of coverage savvy. Really, I think on the last Chiefs drive, when you would think the Bills would have been playing more of a sideline, he allowed like an 18-yard completion to maybe Marquise Brown. Other than that, 4 targets and just that 1 catch. So it's not that he's just a specimen out there. Playing in the SEC, I think you saw so much communication on the back end with all these young players. Hats off to him for not just being super fast, but being able to like stay in the right leverage, understanding how to box out, do those little minor intricacies, those nuances that are really important to making plays on the football, staying with Xavier Worthy, and then getting the big interception.
Speaking of the communication, this is probably after Hoyt went out and we had some guys just coming in on the D-line. Did you see Terrell Bernard literally like
screaming at someone?
Screaming and damn near pushed a guy to relocate on the D-line.
Listen, sometimes communication is verbal and sometimes communication is physical.
That's what a great captain does.
And that's the whole thing, because I think there was a lot of talk last week, Chris, about like, is Terrell Bernard losing his spot with how well Shaq Thompson's playing in a certain team? It's obviously a spot-to-spot situation with him, and you can't remove a Terrell Bernard because of how important that communication
100%
is.
Right. I think what Slicks just said is kind of encapsulates the unquantifiable value of Terrell Bernard. That he's the guy that knows the defense like the back of his hand. And there is Cole Bishop in his second season who missed the majority of his rookie year. Jordan Hancock played a ton at safety. I think he played almost the whole game. Maxwell Harrison. There's so much. And in those games, although we don't normally love to see Sean McDermott taking those defensive timeouts, in a game like that against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, I think it's okay to do that with so many young players on the field. But to have that extension of a defensive coordinator in Terrell Bernard in the middle of the field, even if he's not getting a big interception like he did against the Dolphins earlier in the season, being able to get everyone lined up and have the right coverage can lead to Patrick Mahomes having his worst completion percentage in the NFL in a single game.
Love to see that when I was breaking down the numbers. Speaking of numbers, anything that we really need to say about Kincaid? Like
throwing the ball more.
Training camp, this was like breakout season incoming. You're seeing a highlight every day. First couple of weeks, like he was definitely getting the ball a lot more. It felt like now it seems like we're back to feeding the beast.
Well, I wonder is he still kind of injured? Because
that's where it throws me, because you get the snap count from the Carolina game. It's like he didn't even play. So obviously, are they nursing this guy? Are they just being careful in a blowout? Like sometimes you don't know what's happening with this McDermott administration.
The snap count in Carolina, I think we were running the ball so well.
True, that's a good point.
We're going with Jackson Hawes there.
I should have asked the Jackson Hawes connoisseur on that one.
No, I mean, I'm going to talk about it later, but I love our tight end group because you have a little bit of everything with our big 3 guys there. So.
You know what I was just thinking? Like that point is really interesting. That I'm still of the belief if the Bills in the next 24 hours trade for a receiver, I think that would be great for the offense. I'm wondering, do the Bills have the best tight end room in the NFL? 1 through 3.
Yeah, because the one will be debated. There will be about 8 to 12 guys. They'll say no, that guy's for sure better than
Kincaid.
But then you have Knox. There is an 8 to 12 better than Knox as a 2. And then how Hawes has played and what he's contributed, no doubt he's got to be a top 3 guy. So there's a legit argument there. Speaking of arguments, let's do kind of our general talk. Obviously, a lot of good from the game. I want to talk about McDermott and the way he kind of attacks the game. 2 situations here. 4th and 17. We're lined up to do it. It's like 28-13. Stadium's going nuts. We take the timeout. Chris, how many times have we seen before a big defensive play? And I'm a McDermott supporter. Hand up. Anyone knows that people have ragged on me in multiple ways. I feel like if I was talking to Sean McDermott for 5 minutes, I'd say we got to stop calling timeouts before big defensive plays. Like, I know that he's doing it to try and plan and get prepped for the best we can, but it feels like we never get an advantage out of it. It feels like we never do.
Yeah, you know what I was just talking about how in a game like that, I was okay with a few of the other ones that were on defense.
Yeah. Like I think they were lined up off sides once. He said,
yeah, sure.
Like definitely call a timeout then, no doubt.
To your point, what you were leading into that question with, like, don't kill the vibe of the moment in the stadium.
And
it kind of did. It did.
When you're punching your opponent, like, you don't say, hey, quick timeout. I just want to make sure I'm punching you the right way. Keep punching.
It's like the round ending when
I think there's two things. First, you lose your stadium energy. Second of all, you get guys. I think Bosa overthought that play so much.
Yeah.
Because listen, they take the timeout and they're saying, why do you think he was so right for a screen? What do you think's being said in that huddle? Watch for the screen. Watch for the screen. So he kind of gets faked out by that when he had Mahomes kind of dead to rights.
Yeah.
Mahomes is also, this is a hard thing to quantify. He's the best at when it's like down and 12 plus, like doing a drop back that he knows he's like faking out. Like he's either doing a fake drop back right and he's just sprinting left, fake left. He's going. He's the best in the league at that. Josh is the best once he escapes and everything. But planning to do that, Mahomes is
and
the top.
I think even though that would kind of fall in like a gray area of like, is it improvisation or not? Andy Reid designing that stuff is probably the best.
Top tier.
One of the best ever.
It's probably, when you see the body of work, it's probably safe to say that at some point he had input on that or had some design for that for sure. Yeah. But if I'm going to hate on McDermott for part of the game, man, I got to give a little praise because he's my guy. The Hail Mary. How many times have we seen with the Buffalo Hail Mary that we rushed 3 or 4?
They rushed 5.
And the quarterback is when a cup of tea while we line up the receivers back there. We did what every team in the NFL does now. We rushed 5, which is basically what you have 4 rush right away, and then the 5th kind of picks a spot, right?
Yes.
So the quarterback, like that's a key.
In case there's a rollout or anything.
Because you don't want 5 to just get absorbed right away.
It's like a spy.
100%. A spy like blitz for sure. And we got Mahomes up a spot, and what do you know? A weak, by Mahomes standards, a weak duck to about the 5 or 10 yard line that didn't even have a shot. It was awesome to see.
It felt like right when they rushed 5 and they got a little pressure, I think Rousseau off the front side. Watching it live, I felt that ball's not going to get to the end zone. So it was going to have to be a catch and then a run into the end zone. So it kind of alleviated a little pressure and the heart rate went down a little. But hats off to McDermott. He's evolved from being super conservative early in his coaching tenure to being one of the more aggressive, like 4th down decision makers. Maybe this year, not as much. And that's the next evolution. Don't rush 3 in a Hail Mary situation.
It feels like a no-brainer yesterday. Even going for the 4th and 2 on the second drive. That's a situation where 2019 or 20 McDermott would have said, you know what? We stopped them 3 and out on the first drive. Let's just punt them deep again and we'll get the ball back. No, they're going for it. We know what our best weapon is. That's 17. Let's give them the most opportunities. Speaking of the most opportunities, I've said my piece. I know you wanted to talk tight end group. Anything else we want to get on notes from this game before we kind of move on?
No, I'll talk tight ends when we get to hot or not.
Yep.
And I'm just happy to see a batted Hail Mary finally from a team that has let up a couple.
That's what I'm saying. Well, this team knows how to do it. I was those Giants 2023 highlights still give me damn PTSD. We didn't even lose that one. With that said, something that was giving me a little bit of stress yesterday. CBS pregame show. We need fake snow in Orchard Park.
Yeah, what's
do we need like fake nuclear material in Chernobyl? Like, what's going on here?
So what do they think this is? It's November 1st.
like what was the thought process though? Like, we need to make this look more like snowy and like Buffalo stereotype. Why not just feature the beautiful fall day it was? I'm very confused. I don't
understand that either. I mean, if they were coming to this game and the forecast was for one of our famous November snowstorms, sure, lean into it. But they could have said, hey, it's November 2nd and it's 55 and sunny. Here's the leaves changing still. Like there was so much more that they could do. They don't have to always lean into the everything snow when it's not snowing.
It's so confusing to me because like you guys will be back here for the Eagles game 3 days after Christmas. And
there you go. Then you have the opportunity
everywhere. Yeah. So why do you need it for this one?
It was very odd. Made no sense. Like you said, Chris, if there was a storm or something, yes, maybe you wanted to fluff that up. Made no sense. It basically made about as much sense as when we had the Monday Night Football game in 2018 and they had chicken wings from Applebee's. Eating good in the neighborhood. All right, no more free.
I had no idea that
Any
happened.
final Bills Chiefs thoughts before we move on? 6-2. That's pretty good.
Chiefs' 4th loss of the season.
Yeah. 5-4 in 3rd place in their division.
They got to start worrying about making the playoffs.
Chargers for like holding your own so far for sure. Each team has had a questionable loss, but they're good. Those are good squads.
That's the Wild West out there.
Agreed.
Chiefs have to play them 3 times combined or twice?
Yes, 3.
Yeah. Okay. So again, there's a lot.
Wow.
If someone from the AFC North can just get their shit together, then Chiefs might be bouncing.
Chiefs
back.
And don't forget, the Colts are still on the Chiefs schedule, too.
They're on playoff watch.
Seth
right
is
now.
going to be
That's 'cause-
out for blood after what happened last
Yeah, 'cause
yesterday.
You got tied with one game less. You got Jags at 5-3.
Yeah.
They're sneaky.
Oh, damn.
Chargers obviously a game up, 6-3, and then obviously the East, us chasing down the Patriots pretty much.
Ugh.
AFC North is really though you're not going to get a wild card out of that division. So
Patriots eke out another one yesterday. They're being pesky. The schedule, May is ahead of where we expected. Vrabel is obviously a good coach, which kind of confirms things that we knew, we suspected could be the case. But we were talking about it yesterday. Would you be worried about an AFC championship in Foxborough, Bills, Patriots?
Not relative to an AFC championship in Baltimore or in Kansas City.
Yes, 100%.
You would take that. I heard the thing a few weeks ago with Shope and the Bulldog, like, would you take an AFC title game in Indy? Absolutely. But I think probably number two or three, you would say a second-year quarterback.
I'm more worried about the Colts mascot with all his humping and everything.
Yeah, that would be a
dirty dog or a dirty Colt, as they say.
You mentioned pesky. He's a pesky son of a bitch.
He's absolutely a pesky SOB. But yeah, the Patriots, I was looking at the score yesterday. I'm like 24-3, thanks for nothing, Atlanta. Then the next thing I know, it's 25-24. The comments, I'm like, do it, Atlanta, come on.
Well, their cupcake part of the schedule is kind of over.
It's coming to an end.
They got Bucks, they got Ravens, they got Bills, obviously.
Next week at 1 p.m. we got
and I don't know.
Bucks Patriots at 1 and Bills Dolphins at 1. Like this is the biggest
huge.
window we've had in a month plus.
Yeah.
And we got Dable coming to town, I think, for Sunday Night Football. So if he could just do us one little favor, one last favor.
One little favor, Brian, for sure. But yes, we got that. We have Cardi B at the Patriots game. Did you want to put any input on this?
I think it's kind of funny because, like, do you remember when the Patriots are in the Super Bowl? Maybe 2018, and Cardi B's like rapping and Robert Kraft's dancing on stage.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So it's just funny how things come full circle, and now she's there because she's pregnant and her baby daddy is
that actually is low key insane.
Playing for the Patriots.
It's so weird. It's
crazy
wacky.
how time comes like that.
Speaking of insane, just like everyone predicted, Bears Bengals game of the year. Have you broken down this and looked at it all, Chris?
A little. So my brother-in-law is now a welcome to the Bills Mafia member, but he grew up as a Bears fan. So he was like at the tailgate yesterday. Our tailgate setup, we had a TV. So we're like watching Red Zone, and he was going through it with like, they were down and they were up, it was back and forth. And then as we're walking in, he's like, oh, they're going to win. It's 41-27 or like,
exactly.
with like 2 minutes to go.
I had a Bears money line ticket. I looked away. It was 41-27
we thought it was done.
with 6 minutes to go.
And then I asked him, did they win? And he said, yes. And they won 49-44. I was like, what the hell happened in the last 2 minutes of that game? So I think it certainly is a candidate with a few others that we've seen for the game of the year.
I think you had 2 touchdowns from the Bengals in the last 3 minutes.
Onside kick recovery.
And then,
oh my
yeah, an onside kick recovery, which is like,
in this day and age,
you talk about literally magic in the modern day.
Absurd.
And then, of course, they get that magic. And then somehow the Bengals allow like an 80-yard drive in like 30 seconds.
It was like a 70-yard touchdown, a seam throw to Colston Loveland.
Oh, jeez.
Which was in field goal range, but 2 Bengals defenders, kind of like on brand, ran into each other, and he just runs for a touchdown.
I call that Deshaun Watson dysmorphia because if you remember the playoff game when it was Milano and someone else.
Yes,
they both like either hit. If it had just been the one of them, would have knocked him over. Right. But literally the force of all going to him like created like nothing basically.
Yes. It kept him on his feet.
Yes, kept him on his feet. So yeah, our guy Colts set the flow. This is just proof you don't apologize when you make a hype video. You do not apologize when you make a hype video. You apologize, and all of a sudden the Colts get it.
If anyone has to apologize, it shouldn't be Seth. Come on, he's
what did he say about Rodgers again?
He said, "Let's
go, break Rodgers back."
Oh.
It just felt like that game felt like one of the 2 quintessential Mike Tomlin games. There's the bad Mike Tomlin where like he's punting on every 4th and 1, just trying to have 8 field goals in the game, and then right when they're like the fan base is like, we need to fire Tomlin, he wins a game against a 7-1 team and kind of gets him back in the hunt.
William and Mary boys, he kind of has that Sean McDermott effect where if you don't have a top 5 elite quarterback. Even with how well Daniel Jones is playing, he can put you in a phone booth, and that's
True.
kind of what they did
True.
yesterday
Yep.
for
It
sure.
was definitely sketchy. I think the Colts were only favored
Plus
by
3.5.
3.5.
Well, Vegas has not believed in the Colts all year.
Yeah,
Every
no.
spread going forward. And that's a good point, Chris. I was talking about this yesterday. The Colts kind of like a 2011 Bills-esque, where they're good enough to be there, and they caught everyone off guard. And now that
they are entering
the jig might be up,
too.
like this could be could be it.
This could be it.
Interesting to see.
Speaking of this could be it. You wanna
what is that? The Meow Mix?
Yeah. Should we address it?
Let's talk about it.
That's ball in your court.
Yeah, Don, do we have this tweet?
Yeah, let me pull it up.
Okay, so Meowmix is back now, I guess.
It's been so prominent in my mind that I had thought we had already covered it on the show. Like I thought we were already like.
Yeah, we've been talking about it off air
Meowmix,
so
a
much.
month ago, we come on this show and we're like, a prominent Panthers podcast, a Triple P, has left the sphere. Meowmix had decided they needed to focus on family time. They couldn't keep breaking down 40-7 losses.
Understand.
And we hope that the fans will understand. They went MIA for 4 weeks while they went 3-1. If you bet on them, you were making a ton of money the whole time.
Money.
Now, after a big win over the Packers yesterday, Meowmix going full Michael Jordan. We're back.
We will
my
be
God.
back this week. And then I spent this specific one because they say we went on hiatus and plan to go less than 2 to 3 times a week. I think they did once a week to begin with.
Yeah.
Once a week and a game day. And you did not go on fucking hiatus. I'm sorry. Excuse my French. If we want to pull the receipts, we can. That step down statement, if you will, said it all.
The sad
2 pages of it.
The sad thing about it was they had the chance to become the immortal sports fan, because you always ask in your buddies, group chat or whatever, if you stopped watching and your team kept winning, like, would you have the courage or the bravery to keep not watching for your team? They could have done this. They could have said, you know what? The Panthers are hot. We were clearly the X factor in all of it. We are going to stay exactly where we are because we want the Panthers to succeed.
Which is kind of the vibe they were giving us for 3 weeks. Turned down the meetup in Carolina. Said
they turned down the meetup.
They were too busy with family. We get it. Dead to us. That's why the Bills stomped you 40-9. And now you guys want to come back after a Packers win? Guess what? We're going to be fading you the rest of the day.
It's a fade the rest of the season for the Panthers.
5, mortal lock on Sunday.
See, this is a lesson learned. You don't turn down a slick invitation to be on the show.
Absolutely not.
And like you said, Maniac, when something's going, you don't want to mess with it. Remember last year, the playoffs, we stood in the bathroom for a whole drive.
I would have stayed in the pistol the whole game if it worked.
Because they completed a 4th down or something. So, yeah, that's how it works. Meow Mix, you're dead to us. So
sorry, Meow Mix. It was nice.
Can't wait to make money off your loss.
This changes for you because you were like a week ago, like, we're going to be betting the Panthers because we feel bad for these guys.
Yes.
And now they're like, oh, we beat the Packers in Lambeau. We're back like that. And from a business standpoint, like, wouldn't you be like, hey, we need to stick through this because people will watch us just rag on this team for all the losses. The fact that they couldn't handle it is like the most fair weather
and
you can
gambling
get.
gods saw this happen and they go, you know what? We're going to take pity on you. Let's bless your team. Let's get
100%.
some great wins against Miami, Dallas. Oh, here's a great upset win in Lambeau, like the shrine of all football. And now they say they're back. Well, get ready.
Yeah.
Get ready for you think those gods can have some wrath? Get ready for it.
The football gods have no sorries to give. This story had some clout to it. It went pretty public. I think Barstool's all over it too. Don, how many replies does that we're back to?
Nearly 1,000.
Nearly 1,000?
That's probably not normal for them.
I would like to say 900 out of 1,000 of those, you guys can go and read them yourself. You guys are quitters, word for word. So,
And so everyone has context. We talked about it before. Remember, they quit after getting blown out by New England. Then they went and won 3 in a row until they faced the Bills. They beat the Dolphins, Cowboys, and Jets.
We did everything we could for you.
But, you know, I mean, they were on a run. So
wins over the Cowboys and Packers is impressive.
Yeah.
Agreed. Especially for that team.
Yes,
absolutely.
It's just
one of those with Andy Dalton too.
Yeah,
our old friend Andy. I don't want to play with you anymore, Andy.
Keep pounding, kid.
Yeah, right.
So that's literally that's their charity initiative.
Yes, so crazy
With
to me.
respect, but it's just very funny.
It's time for the percolator.
Speaking of, like, we've talked about the craziness of this past weekend. We didn't even really get into it yet. World Series game 6 and 7 Friday. It felt like the appetizer, like when you order a bunch of appetizers at like a fancy dinner, and it's like, that was better than the entree.
Yeah, like the other night.
Yeah, listen, don't bring that up. I'm literally taking out a loan to afford that tab that we spent on Thursday. Are you a big baseball guy, Chris?
I was growing up. I haven't really followed the MLB super closely in my last 10 or 15 years, but I was plugged in. I thought that was the most, I don't know, maybe this is a hot take, entertaining World Series that we've had in a long time.
I would say
right?
if you find anyone who's anti-baseball, show them that World Series. And if they can't do it, then they're not meant for baseball at all.
Agreed. And what I think as someone that's kind of like mostly an outsider, but was plugged in maybe because of the Blue Jays and the Bison's connection, was how more watchable baseball is now because of the pitch count.
Clock, it is.
In between each inning, in between each pitch. Like I grew up in the era where the pitchers were putting the mitts between their armpits and rubbing the ball for 3 minutes in between each pitch. Those innings were cruising, and it was just highly entertaining, high-level baseball from game 1 to the 11th inning of game 7.
They were doing some data on it. It was like in the 03-05 window of it, they got down to like 2 hours, 45 minutes for a game or whatever. Like they got to a low point.
Okay.
After that, like you said, how often can we sell? How many mound visits can we get? They have to
So
limit
many.
mound visits, time clock. So it all makes the game better for sure. I can't help but say that like Toronto kind of went through the Buffalo of it all.
They
that game 6 and
1000%
7.
did.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not enough to lose.
The
Like,
ball getting
wasn't
live.
Like they came back to Toronto, lost 5-0, lost 5-0, just never showed up. They were on the verge, like multiple that like you could taste the trophy. Like you could literally
It's what, 4-1 at a point?
4-1 in game 7, but also like even the
game 6, the ball
of
getting
the
lodged.
ninth inning.
The ball getting lodged is like the most
The ball getting lodged,
Bills
mark my
thing
words,
possible.
that will get changed this offseason.
Ball
Because
getting
that
lodged,
was like
and then the double play where, like, I don't know
The
what.
base
what he
running
was
for the
doing
Blue
on
Jays
second.
kind of was
that
the one
it,
thing.
Yeah, that was it. But that was also like, you know, the LA Dodgers have just been there so much that like when Kike Hernandez was making that double play, he was so fucking casual about
Calm.
it. Like
Cool and
he had no right to be that casual about making that, but he was because he's played in the World Series for the last like 5 years.
Sure. What I would say too is someone that I was rooting for the Blue Jays and I felt bad for that organization. But just as mostly just an outsider that played a lot of baseball growing up, watched it as a kid, but not much lately. So many incredible plays.
Incredible.
Like those plays at the plate, the
Yeah.
ground balls, the guy
Insane.
the second baseman that hits the home run for the
LA
Dodgers
earned-
makes the
LA
play.
Absolutely earned the
it.
win. They did not get like the play at second. The guy's like falling over when he's throwing, like everything. It was just that's what made LA so tough. Is as much as they have the Freemans, Otanis, and the Betts, Rojas with a bottom on top of the ninth, like that. Then he makes the play in the field, and it's like the Kike Hernandez of it all. It's just a great team. But you even have Dave Roberts subbing in Pages or Pages or whatever in center field.
And he makes the crazy
play
catch.
before that fly ball.
Yeah.
And he's huge. He like runs over the left fielder and makes the catch. It was just
I
incredible
love the
baseball.
fact that he
Bo Bichette, who he wasn't even supposed to play, says, "I'm ready to go," even though he's got a bum knee, hits a dinger.
Yeah. Is that the longest home run in Game 7 history? It had to be. It was like 445 feet.
Yeah,
It was a lot. It was a
Get a
shot.
lot.
Like
Yeah.
nobody hits monster dongs in a Game
What I
7
thought
of the
was-
World Series.
What was so cool about it too, just like the history of baseball, is that
Pause.
as all this stuff was happening, you were hearing what Joe Davis is like the commentator. He's like, the only time that we've seen this is like from in 1920, 1940, like all of these crazy
That's the
Game 7
amazingness
things.
of baseball.
That
Is
was
that
so
is the fact
cool.
that you're not on a running clock. You can constantly assess like this has only happened like this, like that, and that's the Tim Kirkchin. That's his favorite thing. That's why you go to the ballpark. You might see something you've never seen before.
I feel like that with the Bills though. I feel like going to the games.
Oh, I'm ready to see heartbreak. I've never seen before when I go to the Bills.
you really, and I try to tell this to my friends that don't go to the games anymore. Obviously, you can watch it, and you've experienced 13 seconds through your TV. But being there, every time when I walk in with my dad, I'm like, I don't know what is this going to be the game like of some crazy. I mean, obviously, in general, you want the good things to happen, but you never know what it's going to be. And I think that's like what puts me over the edge of like I'm still going to go every Sunday when I can because you never know what you're going to see. I mean, if
We were
Prater's
talking about
kick misses and they lose, and it's that game. Like
the NFL thrives off parity. Like that's
and there's
why
so much
it's
parity
stayed where
this
it is.
year. So much.
If you had the Dodgers go dominate for the next 50 years, like baseball's gonna be in trouble. If it's just the Dodgers every single year.
Yeah.
It just seems impossible in the NFL. That's what made Brady such an outlier. That's what made this current Mahomes run such an outlier. Like it's just so hard to get back to that spot to maintain that throne.
Oh, we got through all the game was amazing. I do have to say, IKF sliding feet first
you're
is their
big on this.
wide right. I mean, he's safe if he slides
Why
head
did
first.
he slide feet first?
He slides feet first. You slow yourself down, and you're gaining a feet. You can leap.
And
forward.
he was out by about a fraction of a second.
You're saying the difference between this and like you get like basically it would have been the difference.
I think it's scientifically proven that it's faster sliding head first.
You are 100% correct.
Okay.
And and it's funny because I saw someone post a clip, and it was like, this is a guy that wants to win the World Series, and it was from I think Game 5 when they sent Vladdy from like first. Vladdy's not really the speediest guy.
But he was
you see him haul and go head first, and like
he barely beat it. He barely beat it.
That's what I'm saying. He goes head first, man. Like that's not even a close save.
I was being super like critical, like because they have that overhead replay where you saw that angle, and like I know it's like muscle memory to them, but he's like looking at the ball as it goes to second. Like, and I know like your MLB, you've done it all, yada yada. Like, dude, just go home. Like it's literally the moment you dream about. I'm on third, like one out in the World Series. I've just got to get home. Like, I don't know. So, anyways, Dodgers are back on their throne. Sabres are on a bit of a throne right now. Yeah. Big win this weekend over the Capitals. Do we got our guy Gatesy? Is he adjacent? Where'd he go?
Here he is.
Okay. Clap it up for Gatesy, our Sabres guy. Let's go. All right, so Gatesy, welcome on in. Sabres points in what now? 7 of the last 8?
8 of the last 9.
8 of the last 9. They are finding ways to grind it out. I think the key things I'm hearing from people are they would have lost these types of games last year and that there's more depth. What are you seeing and is it sustainable?
100%, and that's why this is sustainable for me is you hear Lindy Ruff all off season talk about having to win 1-goal games, being in 1-goal games, and they're in those situations now. We've talked, the past couple weeks of their top guys not being top guys, and the Sabres are still finding ways to get points, to get wins, and that's with guys like Josh Stone stepping up. You're seeing guys like Matthias Samson and Connor Timmins, who were outcasts of the offseason, coming up, playing big minutes, and the Sabres are having that kind of Bills mentality of next man up, who's going to come in and take things over. And that's why I'm feeling a lot better about this team is because they're getting production from all throughout their lineup. It's not just they have 2 great players who are going to carry this team to victory. It's a full team effort every single night.
Now, we had a great time with UPL at the tailgate yesterday.
Yes.
But I want to know if you're having a great time and what you've seen with them through 2 games. Where are we in the state of the goalie situation? Because it feels like if we are going to be playing into April and May, we need a goaltender situation that we have not had in the last 5 years.
Yeah, right now it is the Wild West. It is, especially after the past week where Alex Line has his first kind of game where he's not Superman, he's not invincible, and the Sabres get an overtime loss from that. But you see UPL how he played last game. He made the saves when he needed to down the stretch. A lot of the issues around UPL has been, he makes some big-time saves, but we get to the third period, it's a 1-goal game, it's a tie game. He might let in a goal they don't like. We saw Toronto's first matchup where he let in that wrister from outside, the top of the circles, the overtime breakaway one. And then last game, he shows up, he makes saves in, an overtime where the puck's in the Sabres on the whole way. Third period, some big penalty kills. If he can continue that, the Sabres can kind of rally around. And I like UPL as a goalie. It's just, I think Sabres Twitter has a lot of different opinions on that specifically.
Sabres Twitter.
That's a great.
They had tweets ready to go after those first 2 minutes.
Oh, they were. It was launch everything. Fire. Chris, this is interesting because we were talking about your Sabres fan of the culture and the following of it all. You also see just a lot of fan bases because you watch a lot of film. You dive into a lot of teams. Like where do you see this as is Sabres like what would you say about Sabres Twitter and the vibe of the fan base?
I certainly pay attention to it. What's so funny is it seemed like Sabres Twitter was about as dead as it could be going into truly a few games into the season. When they started 0-3.
Yeah.
But what I find so funny is how quickly it can turn around. And I saw a couple of the old Goo Goo Dolls intros that they used to do for the playoffs. So the Sabres are 5-4 in
that's
November.
after-
That's so
the
good.
funny thing is, right, you have the threshold of the Bills, Super Bowl expectations. So the only time we really get moved on that barometer is when we see the offense play lights out in like a 4-touchdown, 5-touchdown game. The defense, hold them to 10 or less. The Sabres, it's just like, be reasonable, like be something legitimate on the ice. And we are there for them. It's just been so long since we've had that team.
By the way, wait. I got to ask Gatesy,
Yes.
is it okay if Josh Jones is my new favorite player on the team?
100% because he's my favorite. I've been
He might be
watching
my
the
favorite,
offseason. He did the little things where I was like, oh, he's going to be like
So
a
chippy.
great player, but he's exceeded every expectation I had. Fans love him. He does like everything right every single shift. And I think it's just the name Josh at this point.
Okay, that's
that,
true.
Burn.
Very hot right now,
Allen,
Josh.
and,
I think the
you know,
Doan genetics might help too.
Yeah.
Just saying.
probably more the last name than the first.
Yeah,
but,
a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
everyone has
Just wanted
boner
to check.
boners right now. We've been talking about it. Obviously, he's been playing. He's been an amazing addition. People are looking for Thompson and Dahlin. They've been kind of contributing a little more the last couple of games. Is there anything untapped from the Sabres that you've seen? Obviously, we lost Norris to injury. Haven't gotten full from Thompson and Dahlin yet. Is there anything else that we might be able to get a boost from? Because obviously, we've talked about things like Lions power play save percentage is probably going to, go down a little bit. Is there anything that's untapped yet so far in the Sabre season?
I think it's that defensive aspect from those guys and like the heart that Dahlin and Thompson can bring. We think of them as big goal scorers, as skill guys. If you look back to last game when they're stuck in overtime, they had a 3-minute shift in their own end. Thompson had huge block shots. He was limping basically all of it. Still marking up Alex Ovechkin, trying to score his 900th goal. I don't know how he didn't do that against the Sabres. That just felt like it was going to be really stars.
UPL was saying at the tailgate yesterday, no, OB, wait for that 900 for somebody else.
The casino downtown literally offers before the season props when will Sidney Crosby score his 600? I think
Just
they did
bet
last
that's
year.
going to be against the Sabres.
I literally think they have the lines just so you can bet it being the Sabres because it feels like it always is for games like that.
Yeah.
And even last year when he was going to break Gretzky's record, it was kind of around when they're
Yes,
both Sabres.
yes.
It was like a month out, this could be a talking point.
Literally last year, you could have hit on Malkin's 600 goal for 80-1 odds. It was ridiculous.
It was a little demoralizing to the degenerates for sure. Speaking of demoralizing, Gatesy, the Sabres need to keep their head up. 3 games on tap this week. We got the Mammoth, the Blues coming into town, and then the Hurricanes. I'll just ask you about the Mammoth matchup because we've got odds on it, and it's a pick 'em. The Mammoth right now are 8-3? They're one of the better teams in the Western Conference. Is this more of that the Mammoth aren't that good, and that's why it's a pick 'em, or maybe the Sabres are still, a little bit better than people are giving them credit for?
I think it's just because you have 2 teams that are playing really good hockey right now. The Sabres, like we said earlier, have won 8 of the last 9. I think the Mammoth are on a 7-game win streak. They're finding, ways to play right. But I think there's going to be a lot of emotion in that building. You have JJ Peterka coming back. We don't know what that reaction is going to be in the arena. We saw, Dylan Cousins get cheers when he first came back. Eichel, Booze, all that. So I'm interested to see how KeyBank reacts to JJ Peterka's return to Buffalo. And I like to pick him there because the Sabres team is finding ways to at least stay in every single game. Even if they're not winning, they're getting overtime or it's a 1-goal game down the stretch.
So I have a friend that's part of Sabres Twitter, and I don't know which tweet he was sending out when they were down 2-0.
Yeah.
He was texting me oh my God, this is terrible, UPL, just going off on UPL. And I was out doing something, and I was going to watch second and third periods at home. And then at the end of the first, they were up 3-2. And I was like, that is not characteristic of the Sabres the last 3 years and during the drought.
Crazy.
Yeah. So that to me, I mean, I don't want to say it's a turning point 10 games into the season or 15 games in, but that was an eye-opening moment for them to not just maybe they scored a goal at the end of the first, to be leading after the first period after 2 goals down against an Ovechkin team and Strome. I thought that was really impressive and something that I'm not used to from the Sabres.
I don't know if they're up yet, but what do you think JJ Peterka's line to score tomorrow will be?
Probably plus 160,
Thinking
or plus
around there
180
too,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
30 goal
Sounds
scorer,
about right.
they'll get that in there.
Third or fourth top, probably.
Oh yeah, right now, the Sabres to me, when a baby learns to walk or whatever, but they have that step where they have that phase where they can
fall down all the
They
time?
can stand up, but they can't really move.
Yes.
That's where the Sabres are right now. They can stand up. Now we got to find out if they can move. And to me, that's playing that's going to be a while. That's going to be at least 60 to 90 days because, again, fool me once, fool me 8 times, not going to be fooled again. Huge thank you to Gatesy for coming for Sabres there. But before you go, Gatesy, UB back into their winning ways. Now 4-1 in the MAC. We have a bye week coming up, but we're back in the driver's seat after that for our Detroit Destiny.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best time of the year now because Maction is officially back.
Yes, Tuesday night Maction is
Tuesday
awesome.
night Maction, Wednesday night. It's just the best time of the year. And I think we've seen a lot from this UB team this season of, they show up against Bowling Green. They beat Pudge the Cat down. They find ways to win. But they also, lose to Akron the week before. So they have their toughest stretch of the season coming up. They're playing Ohio, Miami, Ohio. Like, they have some tough games here. So, the ball's in their court of getting to Detroit, getting to the MAC championship, but it's not going to be a walk in the park. It's, if they're going to get to Detroit, it's because they earn it at this point in the season.
Running game is MAC contender worthy. Defense is MAC championship worthy. The offense has to fill in the holes.
Agreed.
Plain and simple, because we're not getting enough out of the offense. And I think we saw this. If you want to go all the way back to the Bills, maybe the reason the defense is playing a little better the offense is kind of more efficient playing better is because the defense is a little bit better.
100%.
Feeds off a complementary football. Crazy idea, but you love to see it, UB. Love to see that win bouncing back after a tough loss at home. And yeah, they're off this week, but they'll control their own destiny.
Let me chime in quick with the UB. Cam Lewis played really well.
Yes.
Kieran Johnson, a Friday scratch or late addition to the injury report Friday, late scratch. He played really well in the slot, like covering those very fast Kansas City receivers. Jamarcus Ingram played a fair amount of snaps too.
Coverage too a lot.
Yes, and Joey Andreessen has been a beast on special teams. So everything's coming up UB too.
I had to lament all May, June, July, August while I was seeing Dolak blurbs from the LA Rams. I will not stay quiet on Red Murdoch. Red Murdoch needs to be drafted to the Buffalo Bills. Needs to be drafted to the Buffalo Bills. This is exactly why the pipeline exists. They probably do now because of the NCAA fumbles force record or whatever. But Red Murdoch needs to be a Buffalo Bill. NYC Marathon. Big thank you to DNC for jumping out of that UB talk. Everything. Mark Gates, big prominent figure in the UB sphere. Thank you, Gatesy. Chris and Slick. If I told you had to run a marathon right now, how long would it take?
For me, probably like 8 hours. 7.
7?
I think so.
I'll go in that range, 6 to 7 hours probably.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. Probably a little
longer.
longer for me. I'm out of shape. We had the NYC Marathon. We did have some people take 10 to 12 hours. This was confusing because I thought this was something you had to qualify for based on a certain time.
I'm pretty sure you can just walk.
You can just do it.
I can just do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
12 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you
walking, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm
very
saying. Basically a
slow
30-minute pace. Yes.
Yeah, that is super slow.
Wait.
Don't
I thought there was a wrinkle in
No,
this story.
there's no wrinkle. There's 2 wrinkles that dotted Secretary. There was, I believe, the special New York City Marathon where a man with literally no legs finished in 15 hours.
Okay.
There was
That's
a separate woman. Again, this is a man or woman, but she basically was jogging as she went across, no impediment whatsoever, 12 hours.
Okay, so I really hope that she just picked up a jog just for the finish line.
That's the thing. She said to jog for the bike.
Yeah, you have to.
But if she was jogging the whole time and actually took 12 hours, and
she
really
might have just stopped for a real nice lunch somewhere.
She could have just got a beer.
Nice 2-hour lunch.
Yeah,
I love a good racing scandal, when they cut time off their thing.
Cut course too.
That's exactly it. Yeah,
I think it's kind of like a boss move if you walk for 11 hours and 59 minutes and then just sprint the last 100 meters.
And the thing was, from the video I saw, and maybe I'm missing context. Sometimes that happens in the entertainment world or whatever. But she was they were rallying around her. It was a crowd there, being yeah, you can do it. She was walking for some of this.
Oh, absolutely. It kind of reminds me when you said the cutting course, behind my high school, the cross country coach would make us run around the woods.
And people would cut their
and hide in the woods and then come out.
Yeah, you wait till the coach is a little bit ahead.
That's easy.
Tale as old as time.
Oldest
for
trick
sure.
in the book.
Speaking of tale as old as time, predictions with conviction this past weekend. Chris, we do underdog bets every weekend, college football, and if we lose, we have to do a punishment. I was 7-1 going into this past week.
Oh.
I bet on the worst team in college football, Sam Houston State, and I got what I deserved. I got a big, juicy L.
Learned his lesson.
You bet for them to win or
I bet
under?
Sam Houston State to cover 17.
The bet we pick each week is an underdog to cover. If it's less than a 5.5 spread, you have to take the money line.
Okay.
And
that's fair.
we've had some big hitters, right?
We have double-digit winners.
I had called USF over Florida.
We took Syracuse plus 17 against
He picked
Clemson. They won
outright.
He actually picked USF outright against Florida.
We talked about the NFL parity, college football. I mean, Ohio State is Ohio State.
Yeah, this year,
This year is like, I think the college football playoff, like we're actually going to really love it this year because it's like there's no one that's really, really amazing outside of Ohio State. I think Indiana's a little bit of a wagon. This like the rest of the 130 teams are all right in there.
Ironically, Ohio State kind of ruined the playoff last year because they clearly belonged in the top 4 and then they lost and ended up in the 5. Ran roughshod through everybody because it was just like unfair matchups. Yeah, like you said, they're definitely on the throne right now. They allowed first quarter points for like the first time all season this past week.
Yeah, first touchdown they let up in the first half all season, and then let up another one as well. So
interesting.
Well,
pulled well away in the second half. But sorry, what was that?
After bragging about how hot we have been, let's
we all went 0 for 3.
Let's face the music. We went 0 for 3 this week.
Yeah,
but you're 7-2 though. That's very good.
Look at the body of work. I think the punishment we're leaning towards is that this Friday we have to go in costumes on Elmwood and hand out candy to everybody until we get rid of all the candy.
That's what your punishment is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people are not gonna be like ecstatic about that.
A week after Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting rid of
just 3 grown men handing out candy on Elmwood.
It's probably gonna be pouring rain, but
perfect. Even better.
Yeah. Well, we better give it all away by 6:30 because I got a gig downtown.
No more than
42 North Main Street.
Oh, I'm there.
No more than 2 pieces of candy per person, but we have to go till we give it all away. 100 pieces of candy.
Wait, no more than 2?
No more than 2 per person.
Oh, jeez.
Or else we'll just give it all away. We'll spam give it all away. We have to actually reflect on why we lost these games.
Really good.
Can you give me the number 2 again?
Or giving away
what I do?
Yeah, we're giving the number 2. What are you doing? Who gives the number 2 that way?
I've never seen that in my life.
I'm in the middle.
Let's put that away.
You want pace?
What the hell,
those
man?
away.
All right, enough of convicting about my fingers. Let's get into Hot or Not, brought to you by our friends Celino Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. Yes, very sensual. Let's get into it. Speaking of sensual, how about that Bills defense the last couple of weeks, especially yesterday against Kansas City, definitely held their own. As a matter of fact, if you look back the last 10 quarters of play, the Buffalo Bills defense has only allowed 33 points. That is 3.3 points per quarter. That is winning football. So huge shout out.
He's got the glasses on in this one.
He wore them yesterday. That's his new look.
I thought you said you wanted him to take them off.
I said I did, but then I said I think he's seeing things clearly now.
This is going to be a scandal that these were X-ray glasses, and he can see the play sheet on Mahomes' wrist for sure. Yeah, 5 years. FBI comes knocking. 5 years. The FBI will get around to it. I'm sorry, we said it on the show, Meow Mix. You can't be a fair weather fan. If you're going to be a fair weather fan, you got to admit you're a fair weather fan. You're even worse. You're a fair weather podcast. I hate you, and we are going to fade the Panthers.
I hate you guys too, just so you know. My hot, Pete Lembo, 4-1 in the MAC, propelling the Bulls to a win as underdogs this past Saturday. The Bulls are back. W going into a bye week. There's nothing better than
Love
that.
it.
And like you said, control your Detroit destiny as of right now.
Controlling Detroit's destiny is what it's all about. What do you got, Slick, for you're not?
Unfortunately, for us wrestling lovers, All Elite Wrestling, not the company itself, not like they're doing the greatest run in their company's history, but specifically because of a certain photo. And I'm wondering if we have it here.
What was the caption?
Look at us.
Not to look at us. So
here
Chris, if you're not a big wrestling guy, these are basically all former stars of AEW like 2 to 3 years ago.
Okay.
All with WWE now based championships.
Oh, that's awkward for them.
Not only did they sign them, they put them on a pedestal as kind of like a look at what we can do with them, you know?
Yeah, that's.
I just want to say, like, you know, the 3-headed monster meme, and then there's the one doofus.
Yeah,
that's Ricky Saints is the doofus.
No, this is the doofus right here. Big hypocrite.
Well, him too, yeah. Big Phil.
Yeah, big old hypocrite Phil.
Yeah, Saudi Phil.
All right, that's a step too far. With that said, all right, Dreamboat, what do you got for your hot or not?
All right, for my hot, I got the tight end room. I said it before. I think we got the best collection of tight ends when you look at them as a complete package. They cover everything. You got Kincaid, who's kind of getting into that, like Travis Kelce, kind of like a wide receiver role, right? You got WHOS, who's a rookie, but might be the best blocking tight end in the league right now. I mean, with some of these, he's taking on DNs like it's nothing. And then you got Knox, who can kind of do a little bit of both. He's a great blocker, but he's also can catch a pass. The three of them, 150 yards of offense last night.
Wow.
Everyone touched it. Everyone got a catch. And I love it, too, because now that they have these specific roles, you're getting out there, going to do a little misdirection. Oh, Jackson Hawes is out there. You think we're running it? We're going to throw him because he can catch it. Yeah. So
I do love. I mean, Jackson Hawes when he's out there, that is just an attractive offense.
And by the
That's all I
way,
gotta
he's
say.
only getting better and bigger.
Yep.
Too.
He's going to get so much bigger and stronger.
We saw
Do
him.
you think he could be one of those guys who next year it looks like you like inflated him? Like
Yes,
that's how it always
yes.
happens. In
And
the
strength
offseason.
and conditioning
Because
in
then
the
they
NFL,
actually work
yeah.
out and they're like, I can like just get bigger.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Kincaid was kind of that way.
He does seem like a country fat boy. I don't even know where he's from. He just looks like you can inflate him.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because I thought there was already more weight to him, and there's definitely room for some bulk there.
And Don, you're not.
yeah. Well, if you want to know where he's from Georgia Tech, and he's a Georgia boy.
Oh, them boys.
Yep. He was born in Georgia and went to Tech.
Giving the
He's
ACC
hot right now.
a run right
But
now.
not the crash out line. Now, this is a weird thing because it's actually good that our crash out line is not hot. It's ice cold right now. Not much to complain about in Buffalo.
I'm telling you, when it was a 4-0 Bills start, now we got the Sabres hot.
Sabres are rolling.
UB's 4-1. People aren't complaining. We got to find more to complain about. That's life.
I mean, this a couple weeks ago, this line was on fire. I mean, we had people breaking stuff in their apartment, guys saying, that we're never going to win a Super Bowl.
Slick was ghosting people.
Yeah. It was crazy. It was unhinged, but crash out line is not hot. So
That makes sense.
who do you got for hot?
Okay, so for hot, the Bills man coverage. I talked about it at the beginning of the show.
You did a teaser. He did a teaser.
I did
folks.
it. And to go more in depth, like Jordan Hancock, Maxwell Hairston, Cole Bishop, who had his best game as a Bill,
Yes.
they were all drafted to be what I've thought in the offseason. The Bills had these high floor players, the Levi Wallace, the Dane Jackson, the end of the career, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer. They needed to raise the ceiling with athletes. They did that, even at end with Joey Bosa. Now they can play man coverage. I still think their ultimate mode of operating in coverage is confusing you with zones, but against a high-level quarterback and or elite receiver group or good tight end group, you got to be able to play man coverage in today's NFL. And it's one thing to say we want to play more man. To do it in a game against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, who came in super hot and just totally dominate and have Patrick Mahomes, his worst game maybe in the NFL in a regular season game or one of the worst. It's so hot right now that the Bills can actually legitimately play man coverage on the back end.
Very hot. Zero IQ from me on this. But when you're talking about defensive zone confusion and causing that for other QBs, that's obviously a lot easier when you can flex in the man more often, right?
100%. 100%. There was the one, I don't know if it was a third or a fourth down yesterday, but where I think it was either a Bernard or a Cole Bishop pass breakup on Kelce, where normally when the Bills are playing zone, Kelce or Rasheed Rice or any elite receiver,
He does that kind of button like
they literally run in between the two zone defenders, turn around, and because Mahomes has a hose and can get it out quick, it's 7 yards every time. That's like their patented play against the Bills. And I think they thought the Bills are going to come out in zone. We're going to have Kelce turn around, and it's going to be fine. No, it was man. The throw gets tipped. That's something that the Bills, a new element of their team that they just have not had again in this Allen era. And I think it's going to be big down the stretch and into the playoffs.
Huge.
And not is candy corn for me. Candy corn,
Didn't
I'm
even
like,
need the prop.
I'm kind of
talk to the
Went
people.
right into it. He's been waiting to talk about this one.
I'm a person, which maybe there's not that many of these. It's a very polarizing candy around Halloween.
Indeed
I
it
can
is.
eat like one or two, maybe three. After that, gets gross in my mouth. I can't do it. But the fact that Halloween is done, the bottom of my kids' candy buckets have some candy corn. I just want to secretly not tell them and just throw it away. So candy corn's heyday.
My
the
grandpa
one
would
heyday
say,
beer is over.
"Keep it."
It's
gone.
It's done.
It's gone.
Absolutely. All right, that is Hot or Not, presented by our friends at Salino Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
I
Vibes.
just
That's
want to
a
offer a
good
real quick fact check correction.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Jackson
It's not me.
Hawes actually is from Salt Lake, not
Okay.
Georgia. He did go to Tech, and here's something even more interesting. He transferred to Tech from
Yale.
Bingo.
Whoa.
Guys got some brains.
Listen, do not get my. Well, you want a slippery slope? Get my man Trapasso started on the college ball,
Yeah,
folks.
college stuff, yeah.
The most exciting thing for me is now Jackson Hawes could be in season 7 of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Oh,
That's
he could
the
be.
biggest thing that's coming to the surface here.
no.
But speaking of must-see
There's
TV,
a reason he got out of there.
huge shout out to our guy CT for joining us in studio on short notice, I might add.
Yeah, let's give it up.
We
Let's
spent
give
the
it
deal.
up.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
We
Thank
got
you.
our
having
huge production
us.
staff. Shout out Alex. Shout out the huge team here at Herd of Buffalo, making sure this is all rock and roll. And speaking of rock and roll, and
Shout
Don,
out Gatesy. For
Yeah,
joining
Gatesy
us.
too.
of course we're popping on. Foolish to forget that. Don, the crash out line is not, but it could be hot this week. What's the key for tapping in there?
Yeah, call or text 716-226-6263. We keep all names and numbers anonymous, and if you want to make sure the call is private, just put a *67 before that, and we can't see your number. You can shoot us a text, be on the show, give us a call, be on the show. We are here for you. Don't crash out online, crash out on our line.
Let's go.
I like
Enough
that.
said. Huge shout out to our crew today. My take is that last week was a little bit crazy between the weather getting a little bit colder, getting a little darker, Halloween, and then obviously Kansas City week. I think it was a little exhausting for everybody in Western New York. So I would urge everyone, go enjoy this Victory Monday. We don't have Sabres till tomorrow. We don't have the Bills till Sunday, and we have a very familiar foe in the Miami Dolphins. Again, huge shout out to our crew. Alec, Don, Chris for joining us, Slick, myself. It's Herd of Buffalo. It's Trainwreck Sports. It is Trainwreck today. So make sure to go have a great start to your week and do so by having a good day